Okay, to continue, part 2. You know, I want to go into a quote tunnel. So these are some quotes that have, are about the theme. So a quote tunnel is something I do in these episodes where I read a bunch of quotes either about a certain theme or a specific person. So the theme for today is just the idea of path. Different quotes with the word path in it. John F. Kennedy: the cost of freedom is always high, but Americans have always paid it. And one path we shall never choose, and that is the path of surrender or submission. Philip Sweet: stay true to yourself, yet always be open to learn. Work hard and never give up on your dreams, even when nobody else believes they can come true but you. These are not cliches, but real tools you need no matter what you do in life to stay focused on your path. J. Cole: I feel like this. Whatever is in your path and in your heart you need to do. Madam C.J. Walker: there is no royal flower strewn path to success. And if there is, I have not found it, for whatever success I have attained has been the result of much hard work and many sleepless nights. Tell me about it. Khalil Gibran says, march on, do not tarry. To go forward is to move toward perfection. March on, and fear not the thorns or the sharp stones on life's path. Exactly. That means this is what is connecting all the paths. How everything is going forward. Do you understand? It's like an eternal being is walking on a path called change, and infinite temporary beings have their own paths towards the changeless. It's a very beautiful idea, because we have known nothing else other than change. We have also known absence, for example, deep sleep. Anatole France: if the path be beautiful, let us not ask where it leads. Oh my God, man. This guy's evidently not been in a nightclub, Marla Gibbs: I truly believe that everything that we do and everyone that we meet is put in our path for a purpose. There are no accidents. We're all teachers. If we're willing to pay attention to the lessons we learn, trust our positive instincts, and not be afraid to take risks or wait for some miracle to come knocking at our door. The Buddha says no one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path. I think lots of people were like, Buddha, help me, please. Buddha's like, yo, relax, guys. You gotta walk the path yourselves. I gotta go, eat breakfast. Leave me alone. The Buddha was so gracious, his presence. He had realized something that everybody would notice when they would meet him. That it would be as if the first time Buddha got enlightened under the Bodhi tree, the first person to see him was Ananda. And Buddha opens his eyes and Ananda is there, and it's a very synchronistic moment, and Ananda looks at Buddha and says, what have you realized? As if he's known Buddha his whole life, and he's suddenly noticed he's become someone else. Because he's noticed something else out of the world. And so Ananda asks Buddha, what is this truth you've realized? And Buddha just silently stares at him, and then stares in front of himself, and just sits. And then Ananda comes and sits, and then the others come and sit, and then the historians come and sit, and then the world Way after Buddha's death, still people sit. You know, Buddha kind of like owned sitting. There's no one who could sit better than Buddha on this planet. You know, there's like babysitters, and then there's like enlightened sitters, like Buddha, you know. He's babysitting, you know, the species. My God. You know, and what's even crazier than that is that there's 0 viewers right now. Oh, man. At least that's the normal, not I'm joking. Many paths on one path. You know, I think pretty much all university students feel that. Alan Watts had this thing, right, where where Alan Watts said, he said, your whole life you're chasing this dream, and there's constantly another version of the dream, right? So first they tell you, Alan Watts was saying this, he was like, first they tell you to do this, and then you jump through the first hoop, the second hoop, the third hoop, and eventually at some point, you at the end of your life, you've been running after this thing when you realize, oh my God, this thing is it. You see, we're conditioned as ideological entities. Then the idea thinks its purpose has to be a specific development. Because it thinks it has to be a specific development, it may not appreciate how it's being, because it constantly wants to be something else, right? There are moments in life where I kind of like give these talks, and sometimes they feel intense to me, and afterwards I'm like, I'm just some human being, man. I gotta relax, you know. You know, anyways, let's keep going with the quote tunnel. Frank Herbert, I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. Wow, who is this guy? Who is this? Frank Herbert? Yo, he was a science fiction author. He's the novel author. This guy is the author of Dune. He's the one who wrote the Dune novel. Wow. Okay, now, you know, I honestly, like, you know, saw a bit of that movie and couldn't watch it, right? It was just, it felt like, you know, like as long as, like, that King Kong movie that was, like, 3 hours or something. But, you know, with an author this aware, Frank Herbert has become one of my favorite novelists just by this quote. They're like, yo. Okay, anyways, guys, to continue. Epic quote by Frank Herbert. Just became a total fan right now. Barack Obama, if you're walking down the right path and you're willing to keep walking, eventually you'll make progress. There is a beautiful statue. I don't know where in America it is, but if I go to America, I'd probably go there and see it. It's a statue of Martin Luther King and Obama, and it's such a incredible, like it's like one of the most historic things I think about. Let me see if I could find the image. Oh, guys, my bad, my bad. The thing I was, the sculpture. Okay, so I kind of confused the picture with the statue, so I'm gonna correct it. There is Martin Luther King and a Kennedy. It's like a Martin Luther King and Robert F. Kennedy, and it's here. I'll show the picture of the statue, and it's the statue of both of them, in some sense reaching further, because people don't know. One of the greatest speeches in history is when President Kennedy, after the Martin Luther King assassination, I don't know where it was, but he gave a speech, and it was like a next level speech. This is the beautiful statue, guys. This is, I don't know where this is, but so if you look at the screen, you'll see the picture I'm putting there. You see this picture? This is the picture. And then there's this other picture, which is, this is the one I think this is what I had confused with. So we have this, and then we have this picture. And then we have this picture. And whoever did this with Photoshop did an incredible job. And yeah, this is Martin Luther King's dream. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Why? Because, do you know, even though there was racism, there was also religion. And in religion, there's the idea of character, right? That your character is coming from your soul. Like the United States was found, under a religious premise. United, all united under God. So what that means is the idea of the soul was there, even though the equality of the shapes of the soul were not there yet, right? And the species is learning, right? There was a time where I, playfully in my mind, I had a playful, my mind wandered about something, and my inner realms moved as a sort of answer, and pretty much I asked the logo, why is there like racism or something? And there was this idea that everything that happens to anybody is karmic. So what that means is, if you entertain a transcendental narrative, if the reality is not just like this, right? It would be as if, how would I say it? Man, I don't know how to say it. Anyways, I'm showing you these to show that our species is learning from all the paths that it takes. Right now, we think of ourselves as an individual human being, and we're all acting like a collective, or we don't know really what's going on, right? But in the future, you will identify as your species. Every human being you will see, you will feel the presence of your species. You will feel the greatness of the future of humanity. You will feel the karma of every crew member of humanity. Do you understand? The point of consciousness is very obvious. Individuals notice themselves, then they notice others, and now all the individuals that had noticed themselves and others must now notice something together. Do you understand? The next chapters, it's as if the world is like this puzzle, right? Like this kind of like next level puzzle, right? And it's like certain events have to happen for other parts of it to be unlocked, right? You know, think of it this way. Civilization 1.0 is like checkers, okay? And imagine everybody's freaking playing checkers. Or here, I'll give you a different example. Let's say Civilization 1.0 is chess, okay? And just like chess, it has a board, it has contextual rules, and then it has pieces, and then it has a dualism of conflict, and then it starts. It's like a perfect story, chess, you know? It's poetically the geometrical war of kingdoms. But anyways, it's like everybody's being born wanting to just play the chess game, accepting the chessboard. They're thinking this is it, or thinking, yo man, everybody's playing checkers, I guess I gotta become a good checker player. And then there are some people who are born and they're like, man, everybody's playing checkers, what's the point? And then they imagine they create chess. Now imagine if it's chess, we create something new. Alright, I guess I gotta go on the path of the quotes. Let's see more like ancient quotes. Here, wisdom quotes on the path. Bada bing, bada boom. Alright, there we go. Errol Ozen. Some beautiful paths can't be discovered without getting lost. Jordan Belfort. I think this is the wolf guy. Don't follow the path, blaze the trail. Theodore Rosk. Over every mountain there is a path, although it may not be seen from the valley. Garth Nix. Does the walker choose the path, or the path the walker? Cheryl Strayed. When the path reveals itself, follow it. Don't compare your path with anyone else's. Your path is unique to you. Ram Dass. Joseph Campbell. If the path before you is clear, you're probably on someone else's. Henry David Thoreau. Pursue some path, however narrow and crooked, in which you can walk with love and reverence. Love and reverence, yeah. I think even without reverence, you can't love. Because truth knows truth beyond the disguise. Beyond any disguise. Roxana Jones, surrender to your path. Forget about time or speed, and most importantly, walk in joy. You know, there's also a quote by Gandhi where he says there's more to life than increasing its speed. But for Mr. Within, we're so behind schedule that to increase the speed of life is the most basic thing. Because behind our eyes, the world is way more advanced than it is in front of us, you know, and the proof of this is all the novels, all the science fiction, all the visions of all the fantasies, all the different ways that human beings have thought more than what they have seen. And so, you know, that is the greatness of the human species. We're not satisfied by our sight, and we keep going forth as if there's a transcendental nostalgia. Pocahontas. Sometimes the right path is not the easiest one. M.H. McKee. Wisdom is knowing the right path to take. Integrity is taking it. Ruben Chavez. Pay attention to the things you're naturally drawn to. They are often connected to your path, passion, and purpose in life. Have the courage to follow them. Dr. Steve Mataboli. Happiness, success, excellence. They are not something you get for knowing the path. They are something you experience by walking it.